Hello everyone, Sean Scorvo for HD23 here. A couple days ago I posted a news video of a St. George, Utah anti-mask rally and followed up with another pointing out those folks and my incumbent opponents' lack of intelligence on the matter. To be clear, I don't know if that lack of intelligence extends beyond pandemic-related matters. I've never met anyone from St. George, Utah, so I don't know. And Mike is dodging a debate here and generally AWOL in the district, so we can't see for ourselves if he has the chops to lead intelligently. So let's move on. That leads me back to something else about that St. George video, this time on a very personal level. Few people know this, even people I've known for decades, but I've been going through a pretty rough patch on the health front, dealing with an undiagnosed lung disease for the last 9 months that got dramatically worse at the end of March. Even those that have known haven't been aware of the full scope for the associated fear that I have. And that includes people on the campaign with me, my own mother, and the love of my life, who, until she hears this, has been protected from the moments I've hidden in a back room or made my way to the barn so she couldn't see me physically brought to my knees by coughing fits, or see the blood splatters that I cleaned from the mirror when I couldn't cover my mouth in time. It's my job to keep an even keel and provide for those that I love. Hand-wringing and drama isn't going to help. And I apologize, but that necessary show of strength affected you, the people I've come to know during this campaign as well. On video conferences, I could really only muster a smile if I avoided moving, laughing, or talking at length. And that's when I wanted to smile. During the worst of it, you may have noticed the flurry of videos and my proposal for balancing the various pressures and concerns the pandemic is causing. There was a reason for that activity. I wanted to contribute a plan, an experience that I could leave behind for dealing with the pandemic if I didn't make it. A plan based on my professional history and experience, and the experience of other professionals, that I wanted to see enacted for your benefit and for my family's protection. The odds on that becoming legislation are long, but if there was one lesson I learned as an ER doc, is that you do everything in your power to not close your eyes that last time with regrets for not having tried to better your world and the world of those around you. And I was moving fast because these things were getting worse. That last video in May took 12 takes because I couldn't breathe well enough to get through it. The day after I taped, I was in the ICU. So why am I telling you this now? It is not because I want a very private experience broadcast to the world. Believe me, inside I'm cringing at telling you this here, and I guarantee I'll revisit this post for some time to come with an overwhelming urge to take it down and make that part of my life private again. But this is not the time for silence. It's time to provide context and describe what anti-maskers mean to me, my family, and people like me. COVID would have killed me. And even though I'm on the path to recovery and getting stronger, it's a long road and COVID could still take me down. That would likely mean our family loses the farm and a way of life we cherish. Our household's risk is higher than average because both me and Lainey are immunocompromised from medications we take for arthritis. And now the medication I'm on for my lungs. That's in addition to the extra risk we take in caring for ailing family members and working daily to keep our respective businesses afloat. Those things mean extra exposure. You're probably struggling with the same daily. None of our risk factors are for things we control, just like much of the rest of the high-risk population and those of us that have to budget and scrap and work our behinds off so we can eat or pay rent. Things sometimes just turn out this way. We age, we get sick, we have to fight to survive. It's the way of the world, so we lift our chins and plow ahead. 20% of the world population, 1 in 5 people, has at least one risk factor that puts them at 5 times greater risk of dying from COVID or ending up in the ICU with the long-term effects people are describing. And at least among the 90+% of us on a true budget, most everyone is feeling some sort of financial stress from this, such that even the high-risk groups have to take measured risk just to keep their house in order. Just locking down is not an option for us. Let that sink in a minute. Do you meet 5 people in a day? Well, one of them is likely at increased risk from dying from COVID. And even if none of those folks are high risk, they may be in contact with someone that is. If you don't wear a mask, you might as well have just pulled out a revolver, put in a round, spun the barrel, and pointed at them because you're threatening their life, their family, and their livelihoods. That's why when we're forced to go out, I view people without masks as a threat. That's why when I heard a churchgoer complain that her mask was hot and she sometimes got a rash so she prayed Jesus would save her from the inconvenience of wearing one by erasing mandates. I only heard extreme selfishness. Look, the amount of carbon dioxide you breathe back in from wearing a mask won't kill you. By that logic, we would have no doctors or nurses. They'd be dead. And this has nothing to do with an imagined constitutional right you think you have to deprive me and my family of our very real constitutional right to life and liberty. Your religious freedom isn't being taken away because you have to have smaller gatherings or abide by public health matters. And I'm so sorry it's hot or you get moisture on your chin and a couple of pimples as a result. I wear a mask whenever I'm out or near anyone outside my bubble. I wear it despite the fact I still have to stop and rest frequently to get enough air. I wear it despite the inconvenience and discomfort. I wear it because even with all the negative COVID tests I've had, there is still a slight chance that I have it. I wear it for you. Same reason I'm campaigning to represent this district through the most challenging time of my life. So all of you in the St. George, Utah video, the maskless guy in front of me paying for gas in Aurora with his face 2 feet from the attendant this week, the complaining parishioner, and our own representative here in HD 23. You are a threat to me, my family, my constitutional rights, my livelihood, my farm. If you don't have it in your heart to take on some discomfort or inconvenience for the sake of those around you, then I see you as a selfish, self-centered individual. And when I say individual, just know that I'm using that word to stop short of what I really think you are.